In fact, it is a very relevant topic in today's pandemic situation. I also welcome all the delegates from all over country who are attending this webinar. If we talk about COVID-19, no doubt, it is one of the most difficult situations the entire world is facing. The death of lakhs of people is a serious issue and biggest challenge for the doctors, scientists, and to the mankind. The scientists all over the world are working hard day and night to develop a vaccine for the virus. In India, the number of active cases are increasing rapidly, nearly 2 lakhs. India, with limited resources and limited medical facilities, has been able to deal with the situation very well. After a lockdown of approximately 68 days, now the government is trying to bring the things back to normalcy. But now we need to be more disciplined, more careful. We have to be cautious and follow the guidelines, using face masks, social distancing, washing and sanitizing our hands frequently, taking healthy and nutritious diet. Today's webinar has been organized to educate people about healthy diet and to boost the immunity. In India, recovery rate of COVID-19 patient is best in the world, which clearly indicates that our immune system is better, and that is why mortality rate is lower side in India. We teachers have more responsibility in this pandemic situation. The entire nation is looking towards us. In fact, it is also an opportunity to learn new technologies used in online education system nowadays. Zoom classes, Google classes, Google Meet, WebEx, etc. are the different platforms used for online education nowadays. Because of limited internet connectivity, lack of electronic gadgets in rural area, we are not able to reach to all the rural students. We need to develop some mechanism so that we are able to cater each and every student, whether it is rural or urban area. हम भारतीय सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामय, अर्थात सभी सुखी हों, सभी निरोगी हों, इस कथन में विश्वास करते हैं। अब हमें कोरोना के साथ ही जीना सीखना होगा। कोरोना ने बहुत बड़ा नुकसान किया है, लेकिन इसके कुछ फायदे भी हुए हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, नेचर हैज बाउंस बैक, नदियों का जल साफ हो गया, हवा में पॉल्यूशन लेवल बहुत कम हो गया, जो पॉल्यूशन के कारण से बीमारियां थी वो बहुत कम हुई हैं। हम काफी कोशिशें करने के बावजूद भी यह अचीव नहीं कर पा रहे थे। सो हमें निराश नहीं होना है और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हम सब मिलकर सावधानीपूर्वक इस महामारी से विजय प्राप्त करेंगे। अंत में मैं अपने महाविद्यालय की होम साइंस डिपार्टमेंट के डॉक्टर सीमा, डॉक्टर मोनिका, कंप्यूटर डिपार्टमेंट से प्रोफेसर रंजू, प्रोफेसर अश्विनी जी एंड प्रोफेसर विनय भारती को यह वेबिनार आयोजित करने पर बधाई देता हूं। मुझे उम्मीद ही नहीं, पूर्ण विश्वास है कि आज का यह वेबिनार सबके लिए बहुत उपयोगी सिद्ध होगा। मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं आईबी कॉलेज मैनेजमेंट का, विशेष रूप से हमारे आदरणीय श्री अशोक नागपाल जी का, जिनका मार्गदर्शन एवं सहयोग हमें हमेशा मिलता रहता है। एंड नाउ आई इनवाइट प्रोफेसर विनीति डावर जी to deliver her talk. Let's all welcome her. Dr. Viniti Davar ma'am, please. Thank you. Dr. Viniti Davar ma'am, please.
Good morning, everybody. And everybody is welcome to this session. I'm so glad to be here today with all of you. And my sincerest and humble thanks to Principal Dr. Ajay Garg, Department of Home Science full team under the chairpersonship of Dr. Seema, Dr. Monica, and Dr. Ajay, everybody whosoever has been instrumental in organizing this seminar. I'm so humbled and honored to be invited to this particular webinar. Dr. Ajay Garg really needs special appreciation because he has been very instrumental and very, very active to organize this webinar. I shall be talking mainly about how to raise your immunity, how to enhance your immunity during COVID-19. Though every day we are coming across so many news, so many WhatsApp messages, and social media is all full of COVID-19 information. But I would like to share with you little bit of my knowledge, whatever I feel will be relevant to you. Please bear with me, and I would really request all the participants to not comment or participate in between. I'll definitely answer all your queries at the end, and I request all to mute their voice, please. I am really putting on and starting my presentation on boost food and nutrition resilience during COVID-19. Few things everybody is very, very clear, which I really need not go in detail. It is an infectious disease which is caused by the recently found virus known as SARS-CoV-2, or we commonly call it coronavirus. Before the outbreak originated in Wuhan, China, on December 2019, there was no information about this virus. The symptoms I really don't want to touch in detail because everybody knows by now: high fever, tiredness, dry cough. There can be two things because the text is divided into two by me. The disease can spread from person to person through small droplets from the nose or the mouth when the infected person coughs or exhales. But to inform all of you that when a person exhales, the droplets do not remain in air for long. Those small droplets land on surfaces, which means any person that touches these surfaces and their eyes, nose, or mouth then can become infected. But otherwise, you really have been advised to use your masks when you go out and maintain a distance of 1 to 2 meters. Many people infected with COVID-19 show mild symptoms or no symptoms at all, especially during the first stages of the disease. Thus, you can still catch the disease from an infected person who only has a mere cough and does not feel ill. This is the infographic representation, the one which I already explained. There is tiredness, high fever, dry cough, constant coughing without expelling any mucus, and breathing difficulty. About 80% of people recover from this disease, which is really a good news for all of us, that there is a very good recovery. And I am coming to my further slides and I'll show you what is the recovery percentage in India. So we need not panic as much as we are really creating panic around us. Now the stats. This is the word data, latest word data of today. You all can see the number, that is 64,79,836. And the deaths worldwide, 3,82,227. But if you could see the recovered number, which is 3,09,732. But when I'll be showing you the India situation, you'll be surprised that we have much better recovery than any other country at present. Now the coronavirus cases in India, the total number today in the morning was 2,07,191. The total deaths have been reported to be 5,829. And look at the recovered number, which is really way high. That is more than 1 lakh. In other words, that is more than 50%. If you would have heard the news yesterday, the Joint Secretary Health informed that there is 48% recovered patients. There is a recovery of 48%. So if you just look at this, the total cases and the total deaths, I have shown you what are the number of total cases today and what is the number of deaths reported yesterday. That is 5,829. We all know that when the lockdown started, we had very few cases. But the cases now, when most of the places have opened the lockdown, people are moving out, the numbers are increasing. Now the responsibility lies on us, not on the government only. We need to look after ourselves, our family. If you see how newly infected versus newly recovered number, if you just look at this, the new cases I said 8,821 and the death rate is only 5.49%, which is really, really very appreciable. Now I am coming to what is the importance of resilience and nutrition. What is resilience? Since the outbreak of the COVID-19, individual and community resilience emerged as a main resource while remaining the first line of defense in emergency preparedness. In fact, psychological and behavioral confirmations of both the individual and the community are vital determinants to improve resilience, that is your immunity. Enhance the efficacy of public health approaches during pandemic magnitude. This pandemic magnitude of COVID-19, in my lifetime, I never ever heard about any other disease of this magnitude. I think even if I consult my seniors, even they say that they have never ever come across such a pandemic. The nutritional status of individuals has for long been considered as an indicator of resilience against destabilization. We all say that if you are immune, if you are resilient, you will not catch a disease. We have two children in our family. One child is immune to cold and cough, and the other is not. Why so? This is acquired immunity. Immunity while the lady is pregnant, when she is expecting. If her diet is really helpful, she is eating good nutritional diet, her nutritional status is very positive. Children born will not suffer from minor ailments, will not suffer from NCDs, non-communicable diseases, will not get even infections so easily. But if her nutritional status at that point is low, is very poor, children are bound to suffer from many, many diseases in their lifetime. The ecology of adversity and resilience demonstrates that substantial stressors, such as inadequate nutrition, can lead to long-lasting effects that are linked to health. In fact, poor diet quality has been associated not only with physical but also mental health. If you just imagine a day when we are suffering from fever, simple fever and nothing else, only headache, only fever, one sleepless night, the next day goes waste. The productivity goes waste. We are not productive at all. We cannot do our daily activities normally. And anybody who looks at us, only by looking at us, the person can tell that, oh, ma'am, you are not looking good today. Why so? Why it happened? Because one day also damages our health. Therefore, optimal nutrition and dietary intake resources that transcends the individual, the community to reach really influence us. Let us ponder over. The virus has resulted in mass unemployment and further threatens millions of jobs. Business is very dismal. COVID-19 will hit the most vulnerable populations the hardest. Prior to the spread of coronavirus, they were 820 million people suffering from hunger, 2 billion people malnourished, and 700 million people lived below the poverty line. Despite the fact that India had considerable economic progress over the years, hunger and poverty prevailed in our country. Out of the total population of 1.3 billion people, 190.7 million people are undernourished and 25% of the children experience hunger. We all know that children are wasted, they are malnourished, they do not grow, and the age group of 1 to 5 years is really crucial. Along with this existing backdrop of India, the sudden cease of economic activities nationwide will question the rising food insecurity and misery for the destitute. Local food systems are fragile. About 91% of the total workforce is from the informal sector. They include agricultural, migrant, and other workers who entirely depend on, I'm sorry, about 91% of the total workforce is from the informal sector, which include agricultural, migrant, and other workers who entirely depend on daily wages as a mode of living. These vulnerable groups and their families will be hardest hit during these unprecedented times. We all have witnessed migrant leaving Delhi and particularly all the metros and the big cities and going back to their villages. Why? Because they were not able to get their food, they were not able to get whatever they wanted because the landlords, they asked them to vacate the houses because they were not able to pay the rent. It is happening almost in every city. So what is going to happen to our agriculture, to our business? Even once we start back, we don't have laborers around now. I just mentioned that there is stunting, there is wasting, there is underweight, and I'm just presenting a little bit of data here. 35% of children under 5 in India are stunted, and 70% of children under 5 are wasted. Because people who are attending this webinar, they all are from home science background. So I need not go in detail that what is stunting and wasting. 5% of women are obese, 2% of children under 5 are obese. 33% of children under 5 are underweight. These days, whenever I am addressing a conference or a seminar or I am presenting a paper, I usually talk that we are at the moment facing double sword, undernutrition as well as overnutrition. Obesity is increasing, undernutrition is also increasing. Micronutrient deficiencies suddenly have caught the eyes of the health ministry. 17.6% of children under 5 have vitamin A deficiency, which may lead to total blindness. 41% of children under 5 have anemia. 51.4% of women between the ages of 15 to 49, that is the reproductive age, have micronutrient deficiencies. The mortality rate, which we all again know, that is 36 for children under 5 for 1,000 live births and 122 for 1 lakh live births, maternal deaths. One thing which everybody knows, but I like to point out, that antibiotics do not work against coronavirus. So we shall have to build our immunity, only then we shall be able to fight this disease at the moment. Maybe a vaccine is created soon and we are able to be getting prevention. But at the moment, there is no medicine, there is no vaccine. Yesterday, there was a claim that rhinoceros has been declared positive, but the research still needs to be done. The immune system is responsible for fighting foreign invaders in the body, like pathogenic bacteria and viruses, and also destroy cells within the body when they become cancerous. Poor nutrition results in increased infections, slow healing from injury and infections, and increases susceptibility to symptoms and complications from immune system dysfunction. Studies show that immune function often decreases with age. That is why people above 60 and particularly above 65 are advised not to go out during this time, and children under 10 are advised not to go out. And recent research also suggests that this decrease is also related to nutrition and may be slowed or even stopped by maintaining healthy nutrition. If we look at the gastrointestinal barrier and the immune system, our gastrointestinal tract has approximately 150 times more surface area than our skin. It contains the largest number of immune cells of our whole body, constituting approximately 60% of our entire immune system. It comes into contact with the largest amount and number of different molecules and organisms of any organ in our whole body and regulates the absorption of nutrients while keeping out the damaging molecules and pathogenic organisms. Now, quickly have a look at how our immune system in the body functions. We have physical barriers. Each one of us is aware that we have skin, we have hair. If you look at your skin and if you get a cut or an injury, your skin is exposed. That has to be covered. You have to protect yourself from infections because any infectious agent can invade through that cut skin, maybe even on your any part of the body externally, but you can catch infection. Then we have phagocytes. What are phagocytes? Phagocytes are those cells which can eat. Phago means eat. They eat the pathogens. The pathogens are the disease-causing agents. When the pathogens attack our body, the phagocytes just surround them and engulf them. They eat them. But if we do not have enough phagocytes in our body, we may catch infection. There can be many types like fixed macrophage, neutrophils, and there can be eosinophils, monocytes. When you go in for your blood test, and if you see your report, you find that the doctor has advised for TLC, DLC, that is total leukocyte count and differential leukocyte count. So that is what I am talking about here. Then immunological surveillance destroys your abnormal cells. We have T cells, we have natural killer cells. When some pathogen attack our body, they attach themselves to it and that becomes a lysed abnormal cell. Now you can see that it has been divided into fragments and it goes out of the body. So we are protected that way. Then we also have interferons, which increase resistance of cells to viral infection, slow the spread of disease. If you look at this, these are the interferons. Usually we get immunoglobulins from mother's milk. So we also say that if a child has not had colostrum, that is the first thick yellow milk from mother, his or her immunity will remain low throughout his or her life. So the interferons released by activated lymphocytes, macrophages, or virus infected cells. There is a complement system in our body. When the attacks and when the attack occurs, there is a complement. The body will react. How the body will react? The body will attract phagocytes and lysed pathogen. The pathogen will be broken down into smaller pieces and will not be able to multiply and make us sick. There is inflammatory response. There can be multiple effects, but One thing is inflammatory response. As soon as we are attacked by a pathogen, our mast cells, the blood flow increases, the phagocytes are activated, the capillary permeability is increased. Complements are the ones which I have already explained above, if you can see on the here. And complements are activated, clotting reaction walls of region, regional temperature increases, and specific defense activated. When I say that body temperature increases, body temperature is not, increase of body temperature is not a disease. It is a symptom. It indicates that something is wrong somewhere. We really need to be careful that what is wrong. And that is the reason that why doctors immediately ask you to go in for tests when we have high blood body temperature. Now I am coming to the role of food and nutrition in boosting our immunity, which everybody is waiting for, I think. Protein and the immune system, first of all, because proteins are really main in giving us immunity. Studies have shown that deficiency of high quality protein can result in depletion of immune cells. I was just talking to you about immune cells. Each cell is formed of protein. So if we are deficient in protein, definitely we will have low immunity. Inability of the body to make antibodies, will not be able to make antibodies. There is always a tug of war between between the antibodies and the antigens. Whenever there is an attack, there is a tug of war. And if we have good number of antibodies, good immunity, the body will win. And if we do not have good number of antibodies, the body is going to lose and we are going to be diseased. High quality complete proteins are found from many sources, every one of us know. Once again, but just to brush up, eggs, fish, shellfish, paneer, tofu, tempeh, and quinoa. Quinoa is one grain which has really come to notice these days. There are many grains, legumes, combinations, and vegetables which are excellent sources of many of the immune stimulating amino acids. Soya, brown rice, broccoli, mushrooms, nuts, and seeds have been found to be really giving a lot of antibodies. Omega-3, which is really talk of the town. Everybody is talking about omega-3, omega-3, omega-3. So, diets low in omega-3 fatty acids are associated with chronic inflammatory conditions and autoimmune diseases. In order to achieve a more beneficial ratio of omega-3 fatty acids in your body, it is important to decrease the amount of omega-6 fatty acids. This is very, very important for each one of you. Please take note of this. In order to achieve a more beneficial ratio of omega-3 fatty acids in your body, it is important to decrease the amount of omega-6 fatty acids in your diet while increasing the amount of omega-3 fatty acids. You have to increase the amount of omega-3, but decrease the amount. Reduce your consumption of conventionally raised meats and refined foods. Why did I say conventionally raised meats? Because the hatcheries where we are rearing poultry just for the sake of fattening them, those are not really good for us. Increased consumption of cold water fish like salmon, tuna, mackerel, sardines, ground flax seeds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, leafy vegetables, grass-fed meats, and dairy products. The fiber and the immune system are correlated. Whole fresh fruits and vegetables promote a healthy gastrointestinal system in us. They are fermented by the friendly bacteria in our colon to short-chain fatty acids, we commonly call them SCFs, which are used as a fuel by gastrointestinal tract cells. Fiber also promotes the removal of toxins that can adversely affect our gastrointestinal tract cells and supports healthy digestive function overall. we all know there are two types of fiber, and both are beneficial for the body. Let me talk about vitamins quickly. B vitamins for a healthy immune system. Vitamin B5 promotes the production and release of antibodies from B cells, and deficiency, and deficiency of vitamin B5 results in reduced level of circulating antibodies. Folic acid is equally important because it decreases the T cell production. It increases the T cell production, increases the production of red blood cells, and that is important to circulate oxygen around the body. These days, the gynecologists are recommending that if you are planning to get pregnant, you should start taking folic acid supplements or folic acid rich foods. Why? Because neural defects are found in children of born to the mothers who are folic acid deficient. So it is very, very important vitamin. Vitamin B6 deficiency impairs the T cell function and decrease the blood lymphocytes. Vitamin B1 is important to normal antibody response. Vitamin B12 appears to inhibit phagocytic cells and possibly T cell function. Excellent sources, you can all see here, there are rich sources of vitamin B, fish, eggs, all animal products, as well as vegetables, particularly your green vegetables, mushrooms, and your grains, which are very good source. Vitamin B12, lately we only knew that vitamin B12 is available only from animal sources. That is true to some extent. But there are vegetables and grains which also give you vitamin B12. And particularly the green vegetables are good sources of vitamin B12. Vitamin C, everybody knows, is known as a magical vitamin for immunity. It supports a decrease in the length of time and severity of symptoms associated with upper respiratory viral infections. It promotes phagocytic cell functions and supports healthy T cell function. I just mentioned that the body needs T cells to fight infections. Provides antioxidant activity to support healing at sites of inflammation. The sources, again, which are evident to all: lemon, orange, quinoa, pineapple, kiwi, guava, broccoli, green leafy vegetables, green chilies, and our own amla. 100 gram of amla give us 600 milligrams of vitamin C, which no other food can equate. So it's a very, very good source. And if every day you have one amla, you need not bother for your immunity from vitamin C at least. Vitamins A, E, K for a healthy immune system are equally important. Vitamin A deficiency has been shown to impair antibody function and T cell activity. Vitamin E is an important antioxidant and supports a healthy inflammatory response, an important component of all cell membranes, and promotes healthy cellular functioning. Vitamin K, which everybody once again knows, is known as clotting vitamin, blood clotting vitamin, supports a healthy blood clotting ability in our body and is necessary for seclusion of areas of infections and in the healing process. Everybody knows that these days I am associated with the hospital, and usually patients who have met accidents come to the hospital. And if the bleeding does not stop, immediately vitamin K supplements are given to them, because that indicates vitamin K is deficient in their body. And what are the good sources of vitamin K? Cauliflower, green vegetables such as spinach. When I was a little child, we had chicks in our family. I reared chicks. And there was one plant which was known as kulfa kulfa. That is a very, very good source of vitamin K. If you come across that plant, just grow it any of your pots. That is a very good source of vitamin K. But people who have cardiovascular diseases should not consume high amount of vitamin K. And those with the liver disorders, particularly those with heparin, we don't recommend them vitamin K. Vitamin A and E, turnip greens, which we normally throw away, but are very important for getting vitamin A and E. Turnip greens, what I mean by turnip greens, turnip ke patte. So protect them, unko kaatiye and make something out of those. Spinach, methi and mustard greens. Provitamin A, that is in carotenoid form, we get from leafy green vegetables. We get from carrots, everybody knows that once again. Sweet potatoes, that is shakarkandi, and pumpkin. These are very, very good sources of vitamin A. And these days, mango is plenty in the season. So mango, again, is a very good source of vitamin A. People who have problem of renal disorders and renal, particularly I'm talking about renal calculi. Renal calculi, but if they are not diabetic only, then I'm recommending that they should consume at least one mango every day. They will be protected from stone formation, that is calculi in their kidneys. Zinc for a healthy immune system. Now, I think everybody knows that zinc is also very, very important for us. Deficiency can result in profound suppression of T cell function. Let me tell you that normally we recommend zinc supplementation to admitted patients, which is when we see their zinc levels, those are very, very low. However, but you must be very careful. An excess of zinc has also shown negative effects on immune function and can inhibit the phagocytic cells, that is the macrophages and the neutrophils, which I already talked about. So what is the RDA? The RDA, because that is why I have particularly mentioned the RDA. The RDA for men is 11 milligrams and for women it is 8 milligrams per day. Maintaining adequate but not excessive level of zinc is important. This is one reason food is such an excellent source of obtaining nutrition versus supplementation. What are the sources? The sources are all your nuts, seeds, such as sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, beans are very good source. Your quinoa is very good source. Spinach, shiitake mushrooms and crimini mushrooms, these are very good source. Shiitake mushrooms are the mushrooms which you normally get under the trees during rainy season. So, food contains a balanced variety of micronutrients, whereas supplementation with individual nutrients can lead to too much of a particular micronutrient or a nutrient. Minerals to support immune system again. The other important one is copper. Copper deficiency is associated with an increase in infections and may impair development of immune cells, such as T cells and the phagocytic cells. I am again and again referring to T cells, phagocytic cells, macrocytic cells. Why I am referring? Because these, I have already explained that these are the ones which are responsible for immunity of the body. So, how much copper do we need every day? Adults need 10 milligrams of copper per day. Iron. Now, iron is something which I am 100% sure that each one attending is well aware about iron. Iron deficiency results in impaired response to antibodies and defective phagocytic cell functioning. And we all know that we can suffer from anemia, which is very, very prevalent in India. More than 80% of the population suffers from iron deficiency. The excellent sources of the copper are sesame seeds, the cashew nuts, the soya beans, mushrooms, beet greens. Again and again, I'm referring to beet greens because we usually throw them away. Spinach, mustard greens, and Squash. Squash is all types of our kaddu, iron, amaranthus. If you would have seen that ladies who come to our houses for household chores, they normally pluck amaranthus grown in our vegetable or the kitchen garden. That is a very good source of iron. So try to include those amaranthus leaves in your diet. In whatever saag you are cooking, you can add those amaranthus leaves. Many types of amaranthus leaves are available. There is one which is known as a very red variety and green variety. The red variety is very, very rich in iron, and the other is also rich in iron, but red is better. Then wheat greens, spinach, cumin, turmeric, and liver of the animals. These are very good sources of iron. Now, the herbs to boost your immunity. There are different herbs which again help to boost our immunity. If you go to the site of Ayush and if you go to the site of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare India, they have talked about the herbs which we need to consume, particularly these days. And I have come across many friends, I'm getting messages from friends that we are taking herb concoctions in the morning. So let me talk quickly about each one. Cinnamon, it is anti-inflammatory, stimulates the production of digestive enzymes. Cinnamaldehyde, an active compound, reduces inflammation. In addition, cinnamon contains salicylate. Salicylate is one compound which is found in aspirin. Why do we consume aspirin? That is NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Why do we consume that? If we have headache, if we have pain in our body somewhere, we immediately gulp an aspirin. So cinnamon has a natural salicylate for us. If you just add cinnamon to your tea and you have headache, you have such problems, you will get relief. Because this is what I said, that this reduces pain and promotes heart healthy by helping to prevent blood clots. Just to mention one case out of this webinar's experience, one of the lady who's well connected to my family had very high blood glucose levels. I just advised her that start taking cinnamon in your tea or in your milk every day. So she started taking, and the results were really, really very encouraging. But then lately, what she started chewing cinnamon stick throughout the day. I'm sorry, this is not really advisable that throughout the day, and particularly in summer, you cannot go on chewing cinnamon. So you have to have restricted quantities whenever you are consuming a food or a herb. That is, portion control is equally important. So the garlic is anti-inflammatory, contains a number of sulfur compounds, including allicin, that helps to prevent free radical damage. Now, once again, these days, this is one area where the whole research is concentrated. How to scavenge free radicals or how to prevent free radical damage of the body. So more and more spices are showing very good results, and particularly the Indian herbs and Indian spices. So garlic prevents free radical damage to linings of blood vessels and limits inflammation. Ginger, it is anti-inflammatory, known as a digestive aid to soothe tummy aches. Once again, I'll just quote an example which every one of us knows, that during lactation period, when a lady has already delivered a child, salt is added to her food. Salt is dried ginger. So why do we add that? Because that is a digestive aid as well as anti-inflammatory. Turmeric, countless advantages. Anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic, and antibiotic, natural antibiotic. limit the impact of upper GI diseases such as irritable bowel syndrome. I'll come to the recommendation of haldi milk, which I'm sure everybody knows. Health benefits of ashwagandha. Everybody again knows that IIT Delhi, with the help of Japan, has shown that ashwagandha is really very, very important to fight against COVID-19, to get immunity against COVID-19. Ashwagandha has been shown to be helpful in reducing blood sugar levels, reduce cortisol levels, helps to reduce anxiety and stress, increases fertility, reduces inflammation, and lowers triglyceride and cholesterol levels. How to support a healthy immune system? Again, look at this rainbow. If you start taking rainbow colors in your everyday diet, you are going to be a healthy person. Avoid junk, fast food, consume adequate protein and healthy fats. Now, I'm sure you are going to ask me that you said omega 3 and omega 6. Now, the ratio has to be 1 to 4. That 1 of omega 6 and 4 of omega 3 is the best combination. Provide micronutrients and phytonutrients, decrease intake of allergens and toxins, maintain your body weight, maintain your and know your numbers and maintain your numbers. What are the healthy practices? Quickly, eat a balanced diet. This is the food plate. Earlier we were looking at a pyramid, now we look at a plate. Look at the size of the fruits and vegetables, which has been increased. Earlier we had grains at the lowest, but now we have fruits and vegetables at a better level. For a healthy diet, eat more fruits and vegetables, choose whole grains, eat smaller portions, replace saturated fats, limit foods that are high in fat, sugar or salt, and limit alcohol. Swaps to reduce your saturated fat. Why did I say swaps? No, whole milk, 24.3% of fat. And if you use skimmed milk, that is 3.1%, you are reducing saturated fats. Similarly, fat means then saturated fats, chicken thighs, saturated fats from butter. If you just limit your foods and drinks high in fat, sugar, and salt. I'm sorry again and again, whenever I address, I say, don't go with the tagline of Lay's. Nobody can eat just one. No. You have to restrict yourself. If at all you are having a craving, eat only 1, 2 chips and not all. So what is this? A portion controlled plate. Look at this. Gulping and gulping and gulping and gulping. No. Half of the plate should be vegetables and salads, 1/4 should be good quality protein, and only 1/4 should be your complex carbohydrates. What is a portion? Home size people may be knowing, but not all. They don't know what is a portion. I just have listed that how do we know what is a portion? With the help of palm, with the help of a cup, with the help of your thumb, you can, if you say a pinch, it has to be a pinch. There are 7 tips for mindful eating. Take smaller bites and chew well. You know, when we were children, we were very small. We were told, 32 बार चबाना है. That enforces portion control. That is very important. Reduce the size of your dinner plate. If you are taking a large dinner plate, you are bound to eat more. If you take a smaller plate, you will take little quantity of food and that would satisfy you. I'm quickly going because I think it's going to be your time. How much water should you drink? Children, 0.9 to 1. Children between the age of 4 to 8, 1.3. In India, we can enhance it in summers because summertime we really need more. Now the nutrition recommendations in very short, which I have already explained to you. This is only the summary of that. And there are recommendations for community, there are recommendations for nation and global recommendations. That already I have talked about these, and these I'm talking about that we need to spread awareness, identify and support populations at risk of malnutrition within the community, especially elderly and patients with chronic diseases. Create a structured and reliable support system to ensure availability, access, and affordability of essential food commodities to all members of the community. Please join some community, or if nothing else is possible around your families, try to help each other. Try to know that a person living next door has eaten his food or not. Then the nation, which already is taking care. But one incident I must quote, that Kerala and Tamil Nadu, they have done wonderful job in distributing food. They have made food packets, and now those food packets contain carrots, vegetables, everyday needs. For 3 days, they used to give that packet from door to door. And now in that, they have also added eggs, and particularly where there are children in the family. And as you globally, the global trade, because at the moment, what we are finding is export and import is totally cut down, particularly of food. So a 5-point plan I have put in, which can combat the adverse effects of COVID-19. Increase budget and coverage for essentials quickly. I'm going, please, there is some disturbance. Somebody's voice is not mute. Please put your voice on mute. I request everybody to put their voice on mute. So, if you see that what a family of 4 has been transferred an amount of 500, if you just divide it 4 days a month, because every day food cost is 33.69 per day, and how many days you'll be able to support them with this? Address malnutrition through dietary diversity, supplementation, and fortification. Our Honorable Prime Minister, in his address on Man Ki Baat on 25th August, announced fortification of rice that is distributed to India's poor through ICDS. If we continue to distribute those fortified rice, fortified salt, oils, flour, rice, and milk, that will enhance the health of children, improve the health of children, mothers, and pregnant ladies. Harness technology for better nutrition. The government can similarly engage entrepreneurs to develop technologies to forecast the trend and pattern of disease burden in the future months, rectify supply chain management of key food and nutrition supplies, revitalize already introduced software in public distribution systems to monitor food supplies. We all know that at the moment, we are coming out, more and more restrictions are being taken away. So this is the time when we really need to be more careful. So nutrition is a great equalizer. It can create the right environment to stimulate growth, economic development, and progress of an entire generation, thus propelling India on a path towards excellence. India has demonstrated early successes in managing the pandemic through strict isolation measures, innovative use of technology, and public health services. Today's webinar is also one of the good examples of technology. So as we fight a pandemic of epic proportions, it is of epic proportions, accounting for the nutritional needs of the world's most vulnerable will not only give us strength and immunity to fight COVID-19, but also saves lives and give more babies the healthy start they deserve, irrespective of their socio-economic status. I thank all from the core of my heart. I'm very thankful to the principal, Dr. Ajay Garg, Dr. Seema Gupta, the Department of Home Science, and the technical staff who have really been very, very helpful throughout my presentation. Thank you so very much. Thanks, everybody. And now I'll just
write in the chat box and ma'am will give you the answer. Any questions, please?
You're not very audible.
Kindly please share your questions in feedback form in the chat box.
Hello.
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 Is food supplements are of any help? Hello.
Hello,
जो
sir.
food
Please
supplements
share your questions in chat box.
I have sent.
Okay. Please continue.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. As far as the food supplements are concerned, that why we should go and think about food supplements. Why not we think about organic foods? And at this time also, the one very good thing is that food is available in the market, is very easily available to us. Fresh foods are available to us. And we are very, very fortunate in India, particularly in India, that we get all fresh foods around us, all fresh fruits, vegetables, milk products. So why to think of going in for supplementation? Supplementation can also be taken if we mix 2 or 3 of our foods. Like for example, rice with milk. It's a very, very common dish in each home. Tea. So that in itself enhances the nutritive value. So I don't think there is need. And as I mentioned during my talk, that those concoctions of herbs and amla, these are very, very helpful.
And second question is from
Thank you.
coronavirus stays in the air. It is a question from Lakshminder Kaur.
Sorry, I am not able to get the question, please.
Coronavirus
The voice.
stays in the air. Is it true, ma'am? This question is from Lakshminder.
Sorry, could you repeat because I'm not really able to hear you well.
Hello.
अंजू मैम म्यूट कीजिए, बाकी सबको म्यूट कीजिए पहले।
सर म्यूट है
आप
सभी।
केवल अपना, हाँ आप और मैम का ऑन रखिए, बाकी सब म्यूट कर दें।
सर बाकी सब म्यूट है। हेलो मैम, it is a question from Lakshminder Kaur. Whether coronavirus stays in the air, is it true?
No, that is what I really mentioned and I showed it. It does not remain in air for long because as soon as we breathe out, the particles go down in the earth or any surface, whichever is there. Like if we have some plastic in our hand, if we have a cardboard in our hand, whatever we have in our hand or the other person has, only on those. And already there are informations available, and particularly a doctor from PGI has already given a full notification that for how long these coronavirus remains active on, like for example, on steel, it stays for a very long time. It's always advisable to come back home, wash your hands, change your clothes, and wash whatever you have brought from the market. And there is no need to sanitize your food products. Please don't sanitize your food products with sanitizer.
And one more question is, how could we have a one diet plan that people have all the vitamins in one diet?
Sorry, once again, you are not clear to me, Monica.
Ma'am, question is, how could we have a planned diet, one planned diet, so that the working persons could not have the diet at the offices? How could they do this?
Because I'm not really getting you very well, but still what I can get is that you are asking that one day diet for corona patient,
Yeah.
to prevent corona. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Whatever time you get up, the best thing is that you make a concoction. The concoction can include some cinnamon, some haldi, some tulsi leaves, mint leaves, and ashwagandha if at all you have. If you don't have, it's okay. And make a concoction. The easiest way to make a concoction of haldi, that is, we call it as yellow tea. How can you do it? Just boil a cup of water add some haldi into it, add some cinnamon into it, and tulsi leaves into it, adrak, little bit of adrak, just a 1/4 inch piece of adrak into it. Just cover it for some time. It's only in a cup. You're not boiling it on the heat. It's already in the cup. And strain it and drink it in the morning. Then in the breakfast should be, it is compulsory that you must have breakfast because there is a gap between your dinner and your breakfast. So don't ever skip your breakfast. The breakfast should be good in proteins. You must include one protein. Protein can be soya, it can be tofu, it can be milk, it can be egg, it can be any other product which is good in proteins. And a cereal like quinoa, like cornflakes, like roti plus sabji, it can be anything. Plus a fruit, which is really compulsory. Now these days a fruit can be just one piece of mango. And don't fill your stomach excessively. Just take little quantities at an interval of 2 to 3 hours. Because if you fill your stomach, you will not be hungry again. So this you can have at 8 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, you can have a glass of chaat, or you can have one amla, or an amla drink, or a lemon water with mint, anything of your choice like this, or even lassi can be made with mint leaves, right? And then have your lunch. Lunch should include more of vegetables in the form of salad, a full plate of vegetables. That is most important. And also have little bit of grains. I have already shown you the portions. So one dal or again a vegetable, a green leafy vegetable. Then in the evening you can have tea with some murmure. You can have roasted chana, again fixed quantity, and then in evening have a soup or have a salad, whatever you prefer. You can have cold soups also, and have your dinner, again very restricted amount. If you are already eating 3 chapatis, have 2, because you are staying at home, you are not doing physical work, you will gain weight. So have more of vegetables, more of dals, no fried foods in the daytime or throughout the day. Prefer to avoid fried foods. Don't get taken away by all the recipes put by people on Facebook and YouTube. People are watching YouTube and making new recipes, and others are tempted to make and eat those recipes. So don't do that. And then after 1 hour, you can have a healthy cup milk. A cup of milk with haldi, but no sugar added to it. That is preferable to you.
Ma'am, one of the
So I
participants
think
is saying
that
that,
satisfies the query.
ma'am, one of the
Sorry?
participants is saying, can you share this diet plan of the cat or on
Ma'am,
mail
your voice is not clear.
or on the mail email ID?
A male.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what I'm saying. The
Okay,
male,
ma'am.
the only thing is that the quantity is little higher. It is the diet for everybody. It is the diet for everybody. Immaterial whether somebody is a male or a female.
Ma'am, next question is non-veg food harmful right now?
Sorry?
Is non-veg food harmful right now in the COVID scenario?
Which food? Sorry?
Non-veg food. Non-veg food is harmful.
Market food, you are saying. The ready-made food.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. A big no at the moment. A big no.
Okay.
You are capable of cooking your own food at home, whether it is a male or a female. Little bit of here and there, and makes very good, healthy, delicious, nutritious food. So why do you need to go in for food from outside? And I'm very happy, at least if nothing else, lockdown has really put us into one good thing, that we have come back to good eating habits. And I would request everybody to continue those good eating habits. Of course, it is very depressing, very distressing, but I would request that please continue with home cooked food.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's all over. Over to Dr.
Thank you
Seema.
so very much.
Over to
Thanks
Dr.
to all
Seema,
the participants.
HOD of the department. Dr. Seema. Ma'am, are you hearing me?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, ma'am. All we know how busy you are. So we are grateful to you that you have spared your valuable time and for sharing your knowledge and experiences with us. It is hard to find words to express my gratitude to you, ma'am. I hope today's webinar will be beneficial for everyone during this crucial time of COVID-19. Words are powerless to express my gratitude to our principal sir, Dr. Ajay, for his constant motivation and guidance to organize this webinar. I also thankful to all delegates participating so effectively. My team, Dr. Parveen ji, Professor Monica, Professor Ashwani ji, Professor Vinay Bharti ji, and Dr. Ranju. I truly appreciate you all. Without your help, this webinar could not be possible. Again, on behalf of IB College, principal sir, me and my team, and all participating delegates, many thanks, ma'am. Please accept the gift of endless regards from everyone present here. Thank you all.
Thanks to all. We are now at the end of our webinar. Feedback link will be shared in the WhatsApp group in few minutes after the feedback webinar. It is compulsory for all to fill that. And thanks a lot and have a nice day.